everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Director's Early Works here on Blu-ray Hunter. I'm your host, the Blu-ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and we got a really fun show for you guys. All right, we're gonna talk about. Oops, haha, got that backwards. All right, the 40-Year-Old Virgin, a 2005 film that was the first directorial feature film for Judd Apatow. If you know me, you know I'm a huge Judd Apatow fan, and I remember watching this in the theater. I used to back when this came out, I was living in a garage, and I went with some of my friends to go see this movie, and I was blown away by it. I just thought it was really good. It was 2005, right? I want to say 2005. Oh my goodness, if I got that wrong, that would be bad. By the way, there's holy cow, where yeah, 2005. That's what I thought. So anyway, so this movie basically was a film that like I said, Judd Apatow's feature film. Judd, as you all may know, did movies like Knocked Up, This Is 40, Funny People, Trainwreck, and I think the last movie he directed was The Bubble, unless he's done something else. I love him as a producer. He's produced Neighbors and a ton of other films that I just absolutely love. And so it was fun to rewatch this movie. I had not seen it in forever, and it is a five-star fantastic film. I laughed so hard. This scene, if you can, I don't know, how you see that? Ooh, the Man O' Lantern scene, as he's as it's called. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. It's just so hysterical, especially if you haven't seen it in a while. It still makes you laugh. The look on their face, I mean, because it was real. It happened. It's not like they faked it or anything. In fact, they even asked him if they wanted to shave it a little bit first so it would hurt less, and he was like, "Nope, I want it to hurt absolutely as much as they can. I don't want it to look like we cheated at all. Like they wanted it Steve Carell wanted it to hurt. And yeah, he did it for comedy. What we would do for comedy, he sacrificed his body so that we would all have a laugh. And I thought that was great. Um, Catherine Keener was wonderful. Steve Carell, obviously the 40-year-old version himself. Seth Rogen. This was after Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared, and just showed that Judd Apatow still wanted to work with his friends, the people that he loved working with. And he made Seth Rogen a star after this movie. And then or Paul Rudd. There was what is it? Who else in this movie? A lot of great, fantastic people in it. Romany, I think, um, I think his name's Romany. Um, he's the one friend that really tried to get to help him out. Romany Malco. Oh, he was so good. He played Jay in it, and there are celebrities that weren't celebrities back then. They're celebrities now. When you look back, you're like, oh crap, this movie had a ton. Like Jonah Hill makes his like basically big uh you know appearance. Kevin Hart made a appearance. And even a very young Mindy Kaling um plays Amy in it, and she was fantastic. I mean, just what a cast. Elizabeth Banks. Um, there's also Leslie Mann, who is Judd Apatow's wife, so she's obviously in everything he does, which, hey, she's a fantastic actress. So I would love to have her and everything. And this is one of the first ones I ever seen Jane Lynch in. So like there was a ton of these stars and everything, and then Judd Apatow worked with a bunch of actors from Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared who came over and Anchorman came over. And just it felt like it did kind of have that feel of like a bunch of friends getting together and making a movie, and I love that. But these aren't just friends; these are like talented friends. These are really funny people. Apparently, that lady right there is a was a actress slash waxer for real. She did waxing. She was just great. Everybody just made me laugh, and so what I really want to explore with a lot of this director's early works is try to see how I feel about like the movie. Like, okay, so the last one we did, or the last one I did, was Fear and Desire from Stanley Kubrick, and it was not the greatest. And even Stanley Kubrick says that he's not too happy with that film. But that was more of an independent film, not shot with a big studio budget or anything like that. It was like almost like a bunch of guys in their backyard. It did have a good cast, but like that's not really like they didn't have the budget that they if he had if he were able to like remake that with a bigger budget, I'm sure he would have. Or maybe he wouldn't have. Maybe he had no interest in that. But this movie, as a first feature film, I mean, it's almost a little bit different because, like, here's Judd Apatow. Like, he's had a career in writing. He started with writing jokes for other comics. He wrote jokes for himself for stand-up comedy. He also went off to work on writing TV and doing a lot of stuff like the Larry Sanders Show, which I just watched for the first time. Forgive me, Judd. I'm sorry. Just watched it for the first time recently. Loved it. It's so fantastic. I think I didn't grow up on it because I didn't have HBO growing up, so I didn't get a chance to watch it as a kid. But I don't think I would have liked it as a kid. My tastes have definitely changed for the better. But yeah, so I watched, and then there were movies like Heavyweights, which he wrote and produced, and there was movies like Cable Guy, which he wrote and no, he he produced, and I think he did a did a ghost write of it. He didn't get credit, like an uncredited write of Cable Guy, but he was influential in the television and some films and stuff. Obviously, he later on he did like the Ben Stiller show, and then later on did Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared, both which only lasted one season. Don't ask me why. Both were fantastic shows. But I hate to say it, if Freaks and Geeks lasted more than one season, we may not have gotten Undeclared. I don't know. I think Undeclared came from just being frustrated with that Freaks and Geeks didn't do well, and then fortunately that one didn't do well either. And I love both those movies or those shows. Fantastic shows. Um, and then so after that, you know, he was ready like to do his own, like feature, and he co-wrote this movie with Steve Carell, and you all know the story probably, but I'm going to tell it again for those who may not. But 40-Year-Old Virgin started from a SC TV skit, Second City TV skit that Steve Carell did, where he had come up with this idea of this like guy at a poker game who's trying to tell these crazy stories about his sexual adventures, but he's a virgin. So he's just making things up and it gets more exaggerated. And that was that was the kernel of the idea, but like it grew up into this big plot. Like there was a character there, there was idea there to expand it into a movie. And so, which always gives me thought, like if somebody has an idea for a skit, you could totally make that into a feature length movie. except the Land Shark. I don't know if that could be a full movie. I know they've made some Land Shark movies, but that's different. Um, so he went off and they created this script together, and it was brilliant. Um, but they also did one awesome thing is they didn't just rely on the script, they relied on all the actors coming up with lines of their own. This started the whole physical media thing of Linorama, where you see every different line that the people threw in there. Fantastic, just great. And that's why as a Blu-ray hunter, I just love watching the Blu-rays for this stuff. Um, but when you look at Judd Apatow's early work, you can definitely see what the blueprint of what he's gonna do later. And each movie, I think he gets like a little bit more mature and mature. I kind of think of it as like, these raunchy people, who do the music use like example like Blink-182, who in the beginning they're doing these, raunchy songs, but each album they start to get a little bit more mature and mature. And now I don't unless they're doing their old raunchy songs, they don't really do that anymore. And it's because it's just not who they are anymore. And I feel like that's with Judd Apatow. I think Judd Apatow's like, you know, he is a fantastic director, and he's gets more and more, but like this was his beginning stage, and it was still fantastic. Like it's still a great, it's his best movie in my opinion. And that's not despairing all the other ones. The other ones are just fantastic as well. Knocked Up, and I love This Is 40. I think This Is 40 is so freaking funny. um Funny people, I think like uh, it got too dramatic. It was too, I don't know what happened with that, but like I felt like it was too dramatic and too like, I don't know. It got too real, and I don't know. It didn't. Maybe that might be the maturity. I don't know. But then he did Trainwreck, which was not very mature. But I don't think if he co-wrote that, that's one thing. But I don't think that was like his original story. I think that was Amy Schumer's. Um, And then I have heard that The Bubble wasn't very good, but I haven't seen it, so I can't say. I just haven't heard very good reviews of it yet. I'm hoping he comes back to doing this kind of style, but I feel like he's afraid to do it a little bit because like we're not in that time period anymore. We're not in 2005. It's 2025, 2026. There's just there it's a different time now. This kind of stuff just doesn't play as well. It can, I think. If you go up and listen to comics, they're still very vulgar, they're still very raunchy. But I think a lot of studios are afraid to take that chance because they're afraid it's just not gonna pan out as well. I mean, uh, American Funeral is gonna eventually be made. I don't know if it's been shot yet, but like they're working on that, and that's been taking a long time because it's a what is it? It's a American Pie movie, and those aren't very, they're not as celebrated, as a lot of the films used to be. So I don't know. I feel like there's still something with a lot of these things, but I don't know. We'll see. Um, all in all, though, this is a movie that I really, really enjoyed rewatching. You know, I had a blast. Um, it brought me back to when I first watched it in the theater with my friends, and we were just cracking up at it. We just thought it was so funny. and uh and then I had to buy it on Blu-ray, and I think I have it on DVD. And so like I do for almost all my shows, I'm gonna tell you what's on the disc here. So hope you guys like this stuff, like doing this director's early works, talking about them, comparing them to what they're like now, how different maybe that they are, but like really it's just a little bit more mature for Judd Apatow. But aside from that, his movies are very much the same, and he's produced a ton. He's produced more than he's directed. So I definitely recommend everything Judd Apatow has had his hands on. I can't vouch for the Bubble and maybe some newer stuff. I love that he's doing a lot of the documentaries about comedians, like he did one for Gary Shandling. He did one for some other filmmakers and comedians. So, um, he did one for I think George Carlin. So, all right. So, feature commentaries with director, co-writer Judd Apatow, actor, co-writer Steve Carell, and cast. That also included what's his name? Seth Rogen. I think Jerry Bednob. I think I'm saying that right. Um, a bunch of other actors were in it in the commentary, so that's really nice. I think I even heard Jane Lynch in there too. It's a really great commentary. They had a blast talking about it. I think even Paul Rudd might have been in that commentary. It was a crazy like cast. Once again, I think a lot of the times they just hang out together. And so he was like, "Hey, let's do a commentary for this." And they're like, "All right, sure." You know, that's the best. That's the world you want to live in. Um, Over 30 minutes of deleted scenes. You know how I know you're gay? That's one of the things I think that they wouldn't do today. That's different because he's very LGBTQ friendly. And I think it's just a joke about how do I know you're gay? That might not fly as well today. Data Palooza, I guess that's extra scenes with that Linorama, which is what I talked about, where they just kind of go over and over like the different lines and kind of changes that they made on each. Judd's video diaries, that was pretty cool to see. Auditions, raw footage, rehearsals, real comedy roundtable. That's REEL. That was a show that they did for Comedy Central. And it's him. It's Judd Apatow, Steve Carell, Seth Rogen, and Paul Rudd. Is Romney in there? But all of them talking about the making of the movie. Um, and then Cinemax Final Cut, the 40-year-old version. I did not see that. I don't know what that means. 1970s sex ed film. I don't know that. My Dinner Was Stormy. They had Stormy Daniels. Pre all the stuff that was going on with her. Gag reel and waxing duck. So that's a lot for one little disc, but fantastic movie. If you haven't gotten the chance to see it, I don't know why you haven't. It's really great. But I'm not here to give like a review of the film. I'm here to talk about why this is this is one of his early works and does it like stack up to all his other movies. And to me it really does. It's one of his best. Not saying anything bad about any of the others. Like I said, this is just really really good. All right. So uh I will be back. The schedule for this will be kind of weird. I actually it won't be. That's right. So I'm planning to still do every month, and I will be in um South Africa in June, but I'm still planning to schedule this and put this up so you guys can watch this when I'm gone. I'll still have hopefully episodes up while I'm gone in there and whatnot. So just get ready for that. But aside from that, I had a fun time doing this. I had a fun time rewatching it. It is one of those movies that I haven't seen in years. I thought about doing a rewatch and review for it originally, and then I was like, wait, Judd Apatow. This is his first movie. Let me talk about it. Like as a well, did not mean to do that. Go away. The whole world apparently Zoom loves Judd Apatow just as much as I do. Gives a thumbs up to this movie. Until then, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed this. Join me next month for a brand new director's early works. Until then, everybody, Bye.